Hello everyone, so welcome you all to Show Tutorials Meghalaya's first MTech channel. So today we are going to see Class 10 Health Education's Unit 2's Chapter 1 Part 2, right? So the Part 2 which we shall be discussing today is about immunity. So what do you understand by the term immunity? So immunity means, when we talk in terms of health, it means the resistance. So our resistance, or our body's resistance against the germs or the disease causing germs, right? Now disease causing germs are present in all of us, so as we know that the disease causing germs are present everywhere, right? In all of us it is present. It is present in my spectacle, it is present on my hair, my cheek, then my neck, my t-shirts, then the very mobile phone you are holding right now. There also you will see that, you will not see actually, but when you magnify it under the microscope, you will see that even your cell phone or mobile phone which you are holding just now in front of you watching my video have got a lots and lots of microorganisms in it. All right, now let us see. We are all exposed to these germs in a lifetime, but only a few of them can cause the diseases. See, now what it says is that, you know uh, throughout our life, every day, in our everyday life, microorganisms, we interact with microorganisms every day, but all these are not harmful. All right, but only a few are harmful to us. Now this is because of our defense system. Diseases do not develop unless too many germs are present. See, if one microorganism enters my mouth, it will not affect me so much. If two enters, it will not affect me so much. But then when thousands or hundreds of microorganisms is entering into your body, then it will affect you, because the defense system of your body will not be able to fight it. And what will happen is that additionally you have to take the what do we call it, additionally you have to take the medicines or the fighting mechanisms, right? Now let us see. Immunity is that condition existing in our body which protects us from our body against certain disease. See, immunity means the chemical which is present in our body. All right, in our body it is present and it protects us from various dreadful diseases. Let's see what we have next. So all right, so I have not taken it, excuse me, let me just take this pen again. All right, great. So immunity is that all right, it means resistance to germs of a certain disease. So immunity means resistance to a germs of certain disease. For example, if a number of people are exposed to a particular infection, some may be infected with disease and others may not be. See, now this, for this, let me give you an example of COVID-19. So during the time of COVID-19, some of us, we got the disease in a day or two, some got in a week, some got in 2 weeks, some got in a month, right? So how does it happen? Why we all did not get COVID-19 at the same time? We did not get it because because of our immunity system. So those people who have strong immunity systems, they got the diseases later on, right? They, why? Because the defense mechanism in their body, it could fight with the COVID-19 causing virus. But then those people who got the disease immediately, their defense mechanism is not so strong, right? So those who are not affected are termed to be resistant to disease or immune to it. This is brought about by certain substances known as antibodies. So as we have already studied about antibodies, so antibodies are the chemicals which are released in response to antigen. So antigen, antigen is released into our body by the microorganisms, right? And in response to antigen of microorganisms, our body produces what? It produces the antibodies, right? Great. So now let us see types of immunity. So basically there are two types of immunity. How many types? Two types. One is natural immunity or inborn immunity. Another one is acquired immunity, right? Natural immunity and acquired immunity. So by the word itself, we will understand what does it mean. Natural means, inborn means the type of immunity which you get when you are born. But when we talk about acquired immunity, means the type of immunity which has to be acquired from outside after birth, right? Let us see. So there are two types, natural and acquired. So natural immunity is the resistance offered by the body under normal conditions without any prior infection or external stimulation such as vaccination or inoculation. So now you can see that acquired immunity means the type of immunity which we have already in our body from our birth, and which is not, we have not taken any vaccination for that particular infection or disease. It is either possessed from birth or acquired during growth. See, natural immunity we can have natural immunity when we are born or when we are growing up. These are the two conditions, all right, when we are born and when we are growing up. Then you see, all babies that have fed on their mother's milk have natural immunity to most diseases for few months after they are born. All right. It is broken down in cases of malnutrition and starvation. So see, why do we say that, for a newly born baby or an infant, the mother's milk is very important? We say that because, the mother's milk has got a lot of, medicinal purpose, or it has got, the, how to say it, like a defense system, or it has got a lot of, nutrients, or the, how to say, like, nutritional value. The mother's milk has got so much of nutritional value that, it can protect the newborn baby from certain different types of diseases. That's why we say that the mother has to feed her baby from the mother's milk, right? So some of the females, like, they do not opt for feeding the babies with our own milk. So, but then according to science, it is very much important, all right? This is very much needed, that the child gets mother's milk, so that the child is immune to different types of diseases, so the life of the child becomes easy, right? So right, acquired immunity. Now let us see the second type of immunity, that is acquired immunity. May be active or passive. See, now acquired immunity are of two types. How many types? Two types. One is active, one is passive. One is active, one is passive, all right? So two types of acquired immunity. One is active immunity, one is passive immunity. Now it is called active when it has brought about by the following. See, now what is an active immunity? Let us see. Having had the disease, that is by a prior infection, for example the attack of chickenpox or mumps. So active, it is called active. All right, acquired. All right, it is called active when it has been brought about by, see, suppose somebody has suffered from chickenpox, then that person will have the immunity against the second attack of chickenpox. Suppose somebody got chickenpox in the year 2000, he or she will be immune to the next attack of that particular disease. All right. Now let us see slight infection from repeated exposures to a disease. Slight infections from repeated exposures to disease. They might have little bit of infections or slight infections, not a very high one, as a result of inoculation or vaccination with killed or inactivated made harmless germs of or byproducts or toxins. Now what happens? As a result of inoculation or vaccination with killed or inactivated made harmless germs or by byproducts. See, I don't know whether you know or not the basic concept of vaccine. Vaccine is prepared by the, the microorganism itself. So I think later on you will see like how is vaccine prepared, or what is a vaccine actually is. So those things we will see as we go on. All right. So let us see. An immunity is called natural or naturally acquired immunity when a previous attack of the disease gives a certain amounts of immunity from another attack of the same disease, as in case of chickenpox. This is what I already told you, right? It is called artificially acquired immunity when it is done inoculation of certain materials containing antigen. It gives protection against future exposure to that particular disease for a certain period. Examples are vaccination against diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus. See, now artificially acquired immunity. So natural immunity are the types of immunity which somebody when have first attack will not like easily get the second attack. But then artificial immunity is the type of immunity which is acquired artificially by people. So you have seen in case of COVID-19 what happened. We have taken vaccinations, right? We have taken the vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination, Covishield, Covaxin, I think we have taken that, right? So why we have taken that? We have taken that so that we do not get the second attack of COVID-19 next time. Or even if those people who are not infected, not affected by COVID-19, they will not get COVID-19 in the near future. That's why we take vaccine. Now you might have seen the people, they are taking polio drops, right? The children, they are taking polio drops. Why? So that they do not get the disease or the disability called polio in their life. So how many drops do they take? 2 drops of polio, right? Now let us see what we have next. And vaccines are available for diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus. So you will see the mother with small babies like 2 years, 3 years, or 6 months, 3 months. What do? They frequently go to the doctors and visit them. Why? For the vaccination, right? They have the vaccination card with them. Your mothers might also be having. So they have the vaccination card, and there the doctor, they write BCG or whatever you are getting, the vaccination for, that is written there, and you are getting injections here. That is called vaccination, right? Let's see the next. It is called passive immunity when antibodies produced in some other person or animal of the same or another species are introduced into the body to fight the disease. In this case, immunity lasts only for a short duration. This is helpful when antibodies are not present in the body. For example, a mother supplies antibodies to her fetus. Inoculation of blood containing immune body antibodies, as in tetanus, diphtheria, or when an individual is given a serum from the people convalescing from a disease to make the disease less severe. Inoculation of serum taken from animals which are artificially immunized. So here what does it say? It is called passive immunity. So what is passive immunity? When somebody, when antibodies are produced in some other person, it is produced in some other person or in some other animal. So what happens? They are introduced into the body to do what? To fight against what? Against the diseases. All right. So in this case, what happens? Immunity lasts only for a short period of time. So this is helpful when antibodies are not present in the body. Suppose enough antibodies are not present in our body, then this technique is useful, right? For example, when a mother supplies antibodies to her fetus, inoculation of blood containing immune bodies. For example, a mother supplies antibodies to her fetus, inoculation of blood containing immune bodies or antibodies, as in tetanus, diphtheria, or when an individual is given a serum from people convalescing from a disease to make the disease less severe in evolution. See, this is all what I already told you about mother's milk. I don't exactly recall what do we call that milk of mother, which is present from the birth of the baby till the child is 6 months. What do we call it? Let me try to find it out. What do we call it? Let me see if I can get it. What do we call? Something we call it. Let me see. What do we call it? I cannot recollect right now. It's taking time, so I will see it and I'll tell you later on, maybe in the next part. All right, I'll tell you that. So in some cases of passive immunization, certain violent reaction like asthma, migraine, eczema, and skin rashes may occur in individual. This is known as allergic reaction. See, now we have the very best example, right, of COVID-19. So when you were going to take the vaccine for COVID-19, the doctors, they ask you, do you have any allergy? Did they ask you? Yes, they ask you, right? So you remember that. Or if not you, you can ask your parents. They remember it. So when we went to doctors to get the vaccination, they said like, do you have any kind of allergy? Why did they ask that? So that there is no two-way reactions, right? In some other cases, there will not be any violent interaction reaction for the first dose, but the individual is rendered intolerant to a second. This condition is known as anaphylaxis. This is characterized by severe shock followed by skin rashes, joint pains, and swelling after some days. See, now how many doses of COVID-19 we have? Two doses, right? Dose 1, dose 2. So two doses of COVID-19 we had. So some of the people, they could take aram say that first dose they can take, but then when they went to take the second dose, what happened? When they went to take the second dose, what happened is that they started showing some reactions, negative reactions, like they started having pain, they started having swell, like their body started swelling, then bleeding also in some cases, and then rashes, allergy. So that's why and this condition, suppose a condition or a reaction arises when somebody goes for a second dose, is known as anaphylaxis. Remember, this term is very important. Anaphylaxis is important. All right, now this is characterized by SIVA. All right, doctors take adequate precautions to avoid this by giving a small test dose in the skin. And yes, so our doctors are very smart, we know, right? Our doctors are very smart. So before injecting it into your body, what they do is that they can just inject it on your finger, or they will just put it on your hand and see if there is any kind of reactions on, right? It is herd immunity. It is herd immunity when a group of people or community as a whole are immune to a particular disease. This happens when more than 70% of the people composing the community are immunized against disease. The other 30%, although susceptible, enjoy freedom from the disease by virtue of the belonging to a group. It is therefore more important than individual community. It is therefore more important than individual immunity. Herd immunity can be produced by protecting the individuals or by weeding out the susceptible diseases or death. See, now herd immunity is a type of condition, because we know we all live in a society with people, with our neighbors, with our family members, right? So what happens is that herd immunity is a type of immunity when a group of people or community are immune to a particular disease. Around 70% of the people, they do not have any problem with that disease. Only 30% of the people, they are susceptible to it, but that can also be taken care of by protecting the environment or keeping one's environment as well as body hygienic. All right, let's see the next one. Finally, in spite of all these measures, if the disease is developed, the doctors have many remedies nowadays to help the body's defense against that disease. These are called antibodies. These have proved to be great value in a number of diseases. They need to be used cautiously, however there will be some hazards in use. See, of course we all know that everything has got two sides. How many sides? Two sides. One positive side or good side, and another one the negative side or the bad side. Pros and cons. Everything has got pros and cons. So likewise, antibodies are developed by doctors, but of course these antibodies are also having some side effects, right? Yet, as prevention is always better than cure, your health authorities have built up more defense against diseases. Advances in medicines have made it possible to manufacture protective substances in the form of vaccines which will affect it. So now, as you can see that modernization is taking place, the science is doing wonders, right? That's why we almost have the vaccines for all different type of unforeseen diseases, right? Or the present diseases. So that's why we need not worry so much about our health, because it will be taken care of by the medical experts and the governments, right? Now, immunization. Now, what do you understand by immunization? Immunization actually is the process of, it is the process of protecting ourselves. Immunizing agents are available to give protection against certain communicable diseases. So, certain communicable diseases, see, there are two types of diseases. One is communicable disease, another one is non-communicable disease. So communicable diseases are the diseases which is transmitted from one person to another. For example, if somebody is having common cold, that will be transferred to the next person. Of course, we know that, right? But then if somebody is having cancer, that cancer will not be transferred from one person to the next. All right, cancer is not a communicable disease, but then whooping cough or common cold is a communicable disease. All right, I hope you understood that much. Immunization plays a very important role in the prevention of diseases. For example, smallpox has been eradicated from our country mainly by the process of vaccination in small eradication program. Now let's see the national immunization schedule given in the table below. See, now we all know that in India we get chicken pox. We are infected with chicken pox, but we do not get smallpox anymore. We don't get smallpox anymore because it is eradicated. It is removed from our country, India, because of vaccination, because of different type of advancement in the field of medicine. All right, it is removed. But then chickenpox are still there. But some of us, we mistake and we say somebody is suffering from chickenpox, but I mean smallpox. But it is not of smallpox. It is of chickenpox. All right, chickenpox is still there in our country, but smallpox is no more. Right. Now let us see. A small table is given here. National immunization schedule for infants, children, and pregnant women. So there are three categories. All right, three categories. So infants are there, then children are there, and then pregnant women are there. So birth. So during the time of birth, see, this is the age of the child, and vaccine given. So what are the different type of vaccines given? All right. So see, when a child is born, birth, they are giving BCG. This is a vaccine against the disease called tuberculosis. All right, tuberculosis. Then polio vaccines are given, hepatitis B vaccines are given. All right, when the child is born. Then when the child is of 6 weeks, he or she is given rotavirus vaccines, then OPV1 vaccines, pentavalent 1 vaccines. All right. Then when the child is 6 or 10 weeks, he or she is given OPV2, pentavalent 2. Then when the child is of 14 weeks, they are given OPV3. Then 9 months to 12 month, they are given what? Measles vaccines. Then 16 to 24, measles vaccine 2. Then see, here also there are other diphtheria and all. I'm not going to each and every one. Then when the child is 5 to 6 years, they are given this DBT booster 2. Then 10 years, they are given this TT tetanus vaccine. Then 16, again given tetanus vaccine. Now you see again the pregnant mothers are given this TT1 and TT boosters. All right. In endemic district, only one dose if previously vaccinated within 3 years. Rotavirus vaccine and PCV in select states. MR vaccine introduced in selected states and planned to expand. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So it differs from state to state, right? Under the Government of India. Now let's see what we understand by toxoid. So certain germs like diphtheria and tetanus produce poisons, which when made harmless are used for producing immunity. These are toxoids. See, you might have heard one dialogue in Hindi, right? What is that? That is लोहा लोहे को काटता है. What is it? लोहा लोहे को काटता है, which means, the iron, only an iron can cut the iron. So as you can see, when you want to cut a piece of iron, what do you use? You use a saw to cut it, right? So this one is also an iron, this one is also iron, so they can cut each other, right? Can a plastic cut an iron? No, it cannot cut it. So that's why, the germs which causes diphtheria and tetanus diseases, or they produce poisons, and these poisons are used by the scientists in order to develop the immunity against these diseases. And this particular phenomenon is called toxoids. What is that? Toxoids. All right. So toxoids is the process in which the disease causing germs of diphtheria and tetanus, which produces poisons, are it is made harmless with the use of these poisons in making the immunity. So certain germs like diphtheria and tetanus produce poisons which when made harmless. So these poisons are made harmless by processing it by the different type of microbiologists and are used for producing immunity. So this is over, this chapter is over. So you see here things for you to do. So what you have to do, you do it. Test items, your question answers, you write, you do it. If you cannot do it, you can ask me, I will help you with that. All right, so I think this is all in this chapter. So I hope I could explain it to you, and if any doubt is there, please feel free to contact and feel free to comment in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, the short tutorials. So thank you everyone for staying connected with the short tutorials. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.